All right, I think we are live. It says it's live, so hopefully everyone can see us and hear us. Hi,
Great.
everyone. Welcome back. I am Sharon, and I'm here with Coach Sandi. And we are so excited to be back with you guys tonight. We have just a brief update, and then we're going to be talking all about summer travel and the best healthy foods to pack for your weekend getaways, vacations, whatever travel you have coming up this summer, so you can stay on track, whether it's losing weight, maintaining your health. We're going to share all of our tips and tricks and recipes and foods to pack, whether you're traveling by plane, car, whatever it is. So we're going to have Coach Annika in the comments, and as you're joining, she'll be checking and saying hi, but as you're joining, just comment, say where you're joining from, and just give a hello, give a like, and we'll be checking in on comments throughout the live so we can just say hi, welcome you, and we'll ask some questions along the way as well. So before we dive into our support session, I just want to share a really quick update regarding the 120 shakes. So this is the same update that we've posted in the Facebook group, and I've also sent out in emails, and Sandi, you guys have maybe shared this in groups as well. But for anyone who hasn't seen or heard this, we are currently working on improvements to the 120 shake packaging and formula. So some of those improvements are going to be a more accessible scoop, a more secure screw top lid. I know it's now like a pop top lid. Now it's going to screw on, so it's going to be a little more secure, fully recyclable packaging, and an enhanced protein profile. We've also removed some common allergens, soy and eggs. So hopefully this is all really good news. Other good news is it will have the same great taste. We've had people from HMR already taste test this, same great taste. And this should be available mid-June, but we will continue to provide updates through email and posts in the Facebook group. Yeah. So yeah, we're very excited about that.
We are. Mid-June is just right around the corner.
Right around the corner, yes. And we will update you guys as soon as it's available. So I'm looking down at my phone because I want to check in to see who has joined. And I'm just trying to pull up the live event. Oh, there we go.
We've got a lot of folks on, a lot of our regulars. We've got Lori S. Hi, Deb. John. So good to see a lot of our familiar names here showing up in the comments as people join. Say where you're from, and as Sharon said, Annika will have her eyes on the comments. Welcome, Bob from Rancho Cucamonga. We couldn't have a live event if you weren't here, Bob.
Very true, very true. I always see that Rancho Cucamonga. It's so fun to say too.
I know, it's fun. All right, well, Sharon's going to keep her eyes on the comments, and why don't we go ahead and jump in? So we are addressing travel this summer. Summer's a time where so many of us do get a lot of traveling in, whether it's a road trip in the car or plane travel. Either way you slice it or dice it, travel presents challenges for sticking with your healthy routines. And so that's why we're doing this event tonight, to get you ready, get you thinking about what you'll need to do to plan and to have some strategies, maybe some go-to recipes that you can employ to have just a successful summer managing your weight. So be prepared to take some notes. Also be prepared to share your own strategies that you've got lined up or have done before that have helped you. Put those in the comments.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So let's start with mainly addressing phase one, because your options are limited to what you have on hand that you've brought with you. And so I do want to say though, if you decide, to take a break from your diet while vacationing, it just can end up being a calorie disaster for so many of us. Mm-hmm. So we encourage everyone to approach your travel this summer with an eye on keeping a lot of your routines in place and adopting some perhaps new routines when you're out of your normal environments. And that way, you just avoid coming back from your travels having to restart and recommit to losing weight. And that can be exhausting sometimes and difficult to do. So really be listening for what you can take and try this summer. All right, let's start by talking about traveling by plane. I'm talking firsthand experience here, folks. I've been in phase one in the box, traveled by plane many times. So not just sharing some good ideas here with you. I've actually tried all of these. Number one, pack some HMR foods in your checked bag. If you're checking a bag, make sure you've got some HMR foods to have once you get to your destination. And if your bag is full of your clothes, then pack a second bag, check it, because chances are you're going to save yourself some money. And, you know, it's expensive eating in restaurants. So if you have your HMR foods with you, maybe you paid an extra $25 to check a bag.
Cheaper than a restaurant meal.
Yeah, exactly. Cheaper than a restaurant meal, for sure. So consider that and pack more than you need. I know Sharon's going to talk a little bit more about that later, but pack more than you think you're going to need. You're going to need some foods with you while you're traveling, while you're in the terminal, while you're on the plane, before you get to your destination. And specifically, you know, when you're going through security in the airport, you got to be mindful of what you need to do to make sure you get your foods through there. So TSA recommends placing all of your food items in their own separate bin when you go through security. If they have to dig out those entrees and ask you questions about out of your bag, they're more likely to be confiscated. I've never had my entrees taken away from me personally, or my shakes. So you can bring, currently as it stands, you can bring up to 12 ounces of powdered product in a carry-on bag. I recommend carrying product that's sealed. Like if you're taking a can of 120 shake, make sure you don't take one that's open. Take a sealed one. It's just, you're more likely to get through security with it. The packets of the shakes are also pretty easy to get through. But all that to say, check the TSA website to just make sure you have the most up-to-date information. It could change, you know, this is based on what we know right now.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So between the airport terminal and your destination, here are some tips. Like I said, take notes. 70 plus shake packets, the most convenient thing you could possibly carry with you. You can make a pudding in a cup with a spoon and water in the terminal, on a plane, in the car on the way to your hotel.
You could even make it in the packet too, right?
Yes.
I've seen people do that. Yeah.
I know. I've heard of folks doing that. I've tried it once, and I thought, if I don't have to do this, I'm not going to, but it could really help in a pinch.
If in a pinch, if you need to.
Think about taking your cereal with you. Just add hot water, cover, and let sit for a few minutes. I have a show and tell here. So I have this insulated cup. It keeps things hot or it keeps things cold. And I've taken it with me empty to the airport, got some water at like Starbucks or whatever coffee places in the terminal, get hot water on the plane, add your cereal in there, and then just cover it for a few minutes and let the grains open up. Really easy, 3 minutes, it sits, and then you've got your cereal. Super convenient. You can do that in the car too. Pack your favorite entrees to carry on and make sure they're ones that you don't mind eating at room temperature if you have to. Yep, that's really key. Quick story. I was in phase one, in the box, had a turkey chili with me. I had a stopover in Houston or Dallas. I don't remember. I know it was Texas. And I did some research ahead of time, found out they had a Wendy's, knew I could get a baked potato there.
Perfect.
Picked up the potato, got on the plane with the potato and the box of turkey chili. And when we got seated, come to find out, we had to sit on the tarmac for like an hour before we took off.
Gosh.
That's when I ate my turkey chili, my hot baked potato. It was great. I was so glad I had planned ahead and had all that with me. So that's just a tip for, you know, make sure you can get something that you need in the airport if you plan to take it on board, if you don't have it with you. Another time I did have a ravioli with me, put it over a green salad that I'd gotten in the terminal, didn't have dressing, but the sauce from the entree covered the lettuce greens nicely. Didn't even think that would work or taste good. It was excellent. Highly recommend.
That's awesome.
So good. All right. And then some other things, you know, HMR bars, for a sweet treat. If you get a sweet tooth, make sure you have a bar with you or a pudding that can keep you, on track and in the box while you're traveling. We sometimes get those little cravings, especially if you have a tendency or a history of eating sweet treats, on the plane. Make sure you have a substitute that's in the box like that.
Great tip.
Yeah. And then veggies and fruits. If you're in phase 2 or healthy solutions, some easy cut up carrots, grapes, sliced apples or whole apple, fruit you can usually travel to certain places with. I have been to some locations where they make you, you have to let them know if you have produce on board. So make sure that,
you know the rules.
The rules.
Yeah.
They eat it all before you plane. Okay, real quick, before I move on to traveling by car, I have some other tips. Let's talk about gadgets that are going to help you, or things that you can take along that are going to help you during your plane travel. And like I said, the 70 plus pudding, make sure you bring a spoon, a little cup, or grab a cup, in the terminal or on the plane. Easy to whip up, unless you want to use the packet like Sharon said. Shaker,
in a pinch.
Yeah, shaker bottle. This one doesn't have its little whisk ball in it, but whisk ball or ice, water, shake powder, instant shake wherever you are, wherever you can get water, or even coffee. Cold coffee is good.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Come on. Some other things. I mentioned bringing fruit along. I have this banana holder I travel with.
That's so cool.
It saved many a carry-on bag from having a smashed banana at the bottom.
That's a great idea. They tend to get very smushed in carry-on bags too. I've noticed they go brown very quickly. I need to get one of those.
Yeah, banana holder. Got that as a gift for Christmas once. I showed my my insulated mug. Recommend that. And this is a great brand. You can't go wrong with Yeti.
Love Yeti.
And then lastly, if you're taking along salad dressing, this literally came from a 99-cent store. If you don't want to break your calorie by having regular salad dressing out and about, bring along your low-cal salad dressing with you and can save you lots of calories while you're away from home.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome tips. Before you move on to the car, I just want to share one comment we got. Lori said, I packed and checked a second bag with all my HMR foods, travel blender, etc. I like to make HMR muffins, fruit, veggies, and bars to have on the plane. I also take an entree and eat it at room temperature. She's got all the tips in one trip. That's awesome.
Thanks for sharing that, Lori. I hadn't even thought about, making the muffins or the HMR, even pancakes,
Yeah.
Make those up, or waffles, throw them in a baggie and have the snack on. Absolutely.
Totally. And then one other, John said, freeze shakes ahead of time and pack lots of fruit and veggies.
Great for the car, but don't know that you'd get past security with that.
True. Yes, very true. That's a car one.
We can start there with traveling in the car.
That was the segue.
That was a good segue. Of course, any of the tips I just shared for flying, you can use on the road as well, or even when you're just out and about, maybe you, like me, aren't flying anywhere this summer, but I'm certainly going to be away from home for a number of hours on many occasions. But let's talk about road trips. You're in a car for 1 or more hours, and you just need some tips to help you keep driving past those fast food restaurants without being
everywhere.
I'll start with pack a thermos with a warmed entree already heated up with veggies in it. Here's my show and tell for my tried and true thermos I've had forever, probably Walmart or Target, just.
And it keeps it warm. That's perfect.
Cheap, yeah. If you need to heat an entree while you're in the car, maybe you're going to be gone for, on the road for several hours. I looked on Amazon. I found an electric food warmer that you can plug into your 12-volt plug. They may have some USB versions, but you can warm food. You can warm your entree, warm your veggies right there in your car while you're driving. And
wow.
meal. Mm-hmm.
That's super
Try it out
convenient.
before you get on the road. Make sure you know how to use it.
Little test run.
Yeah. And kind of similar to that, a portable blender. And Lori just mentioned a portable blender. They have some
Mhm.
USB rechargeable features.
Yep.
Great for making your shakes on the road. Or make sure it's charged before you leave home if you
Mhm.
don't have a USB port in your car. And kind of like the idea about freezing a shake before you leave home, you can put it in an insulated cup and keep it cold a really long time, or not. Maybe you want it to melt fast, so you can drink it fast. But all of these types of ideas, along with bringing your veggies and fruits in a cooler, or planning to stop off and buy some, or stopping for a salad to top an entree, top it with an entree or your dressing you bring along.
Mhm.
All of this is going to keep you, eating the foods that are on your plan, and out of the routines that a lot of us have for stopping off and treating ourselves while we're on the road, which I know for me in my past has been a calorie disaster.
Totally.
And one meal leads to another, right?
Yep. And when you let yourself get hungry, it's really hard to say no and pass up all of the food that you see along the way that smells good, or,
Yeah.
it definitely makes it more challenging.
Yeah. Be sure to share any other ideas you all have for being on the road and sticking
Yep.
to some of your routines. So,
Yeah. Keep commenting and let us know what your strategies are when you travel by plane, by car, or let us know what you're actually planning to do if you have travel coming up. I know the summer is basically among us right now, if not just around the corner. So if you have travel, let us know what you're planning to do to help you stay on track and fit your food in. So I'll kind of go into some phase 2 tips. And this first tip is actually phase 1 or phase 2. I'm just going to elaborate more and emphasize packing cut up fruits and veggies. I actually just recently flew by plane and I packed tons of food, bananas. I need to get that banana holder though, because my banana got smushed very quickly. Yeah, that's such a good idea. I've never even heard of one of those. But bananas are great, apples, peaches, oranges. For veggies, sliced cucumber. I've packed like a little reusable sandwich bag with sliced cucumber, jicama, bell peppers, carrots, all really great to travel. And then for phase 2, if you're doing, I wouldn't recommend this on a plane because it can get a little smelly, but if you're doing like a little weekend car road trip, packing hard-boiled eggs in an insulated container, or egg muffins. We have a great recipe on the HMR website with egg muffins. They're super easy to make. You can pack vegetables into them. They're so good, portable, and you get that protein in. A couple other things you can do in phase 2 is, this could actually be phase 1 as well, sweet potato toast. I used to bring sweet potato toast with me, and you can top like smashed avocado or those little like cups of guacamole. Rice cakes are great. They're really portable, and you can top them with a little bit of peanut butter and fruit for a nice filling snack. I would be careful with the peanut butter though. One time I tried to bring a jar of peanut butter and that didn't fly because technically it's a liquid, I guess. So you do have to portion it out into smaller portions, and that's better anyways, because then you get the portion control. So those are some phase 2 tips. And of course, if you're in phase 2, everything that Sandy mentioned for phase 1, bringing the warmed entree, bringing shakes 70 plus, bringing the cereal, those are all great too and help keep the calories low. A few more tips that I will add in before I do that. Actually, Sandy, are there any tips that we're seeing come in on the comments?
Yeah. So Sean is giving a tip. I don't know if he's kidding or not. He says pull over at a rest stop, throw a few of the suckers. I think he means
Entrees, yeah, of
under
course.
the hood and warm them up.
Why not? Might get a little oil on there, but
Yeah, you might smell them cooking as you're driving down the road.
Exactly. Yeah, warm them up or warm them up in the sun.
A couple of folks have said put your entrees on the dash in the car while you're driving on a hot day, in the sun to heat them up. Here's a good one that John mentioned. Of course, bring enough to keep you full. We've said that a couple times, but stopping at rest stops rather than at a restaurant or a place that has food to keep from, being tempted by other foods like gas station food or fast food. Good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
lots of ideas coming in. Please keep them
Cool.
coming.
Great. So a couple more tips that I'll share before we wrap up. So always pack more than enough. I can't emphasize this enough. I feel like sometimes when I'm packing the food for a trip, I'll be like, oh, I'm not really that hungry right now. So I'll just pack one thing, one thing of fruit, one thing of vegetables. That should be enough. And then when I get on the plane, I'm like starving, because you're bored, you're sitting there, you just pack more than enough. It'll always make things easier. And you might maybe, like Sandy, you mentioned your trip ended up getting delayed. You sat on, the tarmac for a while. So you never know when things get delayed or it just takes a little bit longer. So just pack more than enough. You will always be happy that you have it. And then bring a planner with you, especially because when you're traveling, you're out of your routine. You're not eating your typical food. So it's helpful to just kind of plan and really prepare. And you might want to even write down, okay, this is what I'm going to have for my snacks. This is what I'm going to have for my dinner. This is where I'm planning to go out to eat. So you have everything planned that can really help you stay on track. Another tip is when you get to your destination, find a local grocery store. You can even do this ahead of time. Just do a quick Google search and figure out what grocery stores are going to be close to where you're staying. That way you can pick up fruits and vegetables when you get there that you can bring to your hotel room or your Airbnb. You can even get some add-ins for your shakes, your entrees. If you're in phase 2, you can pick things up like hard-boiled eggs again, or some other cooked proteins that you can keep in a refrigerator wherever you're staying. And then research restaurants. So wherever you're going, take a look and see what restaurants you and your friends or family might be planning to go to. And then you can actually look at the menu ahead of time if they have it. Some do, some don't. Most do though. So you can take a look at the menu. You might even be able to see the calories on there, and then you can pick which restaurants you're going to go to, what healthy options they have, and then choose what you're going to order ahead of time so you don't get there and have the decision anxiety or influenced by what other people are ordering. And remember, when you get to that restaurant, be sure to not be afraid to customize and even ask for things off the menu like steamed vegetables or anything that's going to help you stay on track while you're traveling. If you're staying in a hotel, ask them ahead of time for a fridge and a microwave. I know tons of people on the program have done this and have had lots of success. Most hotels will be very accommodating, and this will just make it easier. That way you can store your food right there in the room and even prepare it right there if you're in a pinch.
I've known people to bring their own microwave too. Like if they're on a road trip and they have like a small countertop microwave, they'll just throw it in the trunk of the car and bring it along.
That's a great idea, because then you're able to just prepare the food right there. And as Sandy mentioned, there's some things that you can do with minimal preparation. You can just get hot water and mix it with the cereal, cold water and mix it with the 70 plus, or use a shaker bottle to mix up a shake, or use entrees that are good at room temperature. And then lastly, keep records. Make sure that you're using the HMR app or whatever else, whatever other method you use to keep records, to make sure you're hitting those 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. Keeping track of HMR foods that you're having, exercise, just really helping to keep that in place, because if you're out of your routine, that can be one thing that can really be maintained. So let me see, I'm gonna see if there's any comments that we're getting coming in.
Yeah, there are a couple I just wanted to highlight. Laura, excuse me, said that they place online orders for grocery stores and just pick it up on the way home from the airport to the hotel. Brilliant.
That's a great idea. Very convenient too. Yeah. And then you don't have to even, because when you're exhausted after traveling, you don't have to go in and shop. You just pick it up. That's very convenient.
Love it.
Awesome.
So many great tips in our comments here. And I encourage everybody just to keep it up. Sharon, do you see anything to share before we?
Let's see. Bob said, when I went to Phoenix last March, there was a Whole Foods just across the street from my hotel. That's so convenient. And you could even, choose where you're staying based on what is around you. If you want to make sure there's grocery stores nearby or some healthy food restaurants.
Agree.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah. Keep commenting.
Yeah. We have covered a lot of tips and strategies for travel this summer. Whatever you've got going on, hopefully you heard something that is a takeaway and that you can incorporate in any upcoming travel plans you have. And so I do want to do a quick recap. It's not everything, but just hit some highlights on some of the tips we shared tonight. And please comment with any of your takeaways, anything that you're going to use from tonight's Facebook Live. So pack HMR foods with you, along with fruits and vegetables. Pack more than enough. And be mindful of, if you travel by air, how you need to pack and plan for not only your destination, but getting there. Use a planner or a calendar just to kind of think through things, get things planned out, and make sure you've got enough details in there so that you're able to stick to your routines as much as possible. Find grocery stores, places you can pick up veggies and fruits at your destination. And then planning ahead for dining out. So many restaurants have their menus on their websites, and along with calories these days.
Very helpful.
Yeah, very helpful. Take a look at those before you walk through the door of the restaurant, if that's what you're doing. And then keep records. And I'll even tag on to that, if you're a member of a group in a clinic or, through Zoom, make sure you attend a group leading up to your travels, and you've got one planned for when you return. And if you can attend virtually while you're on vacation, even more support you'll be given, while you're away. So I want to plant that seed there.
Yeah, totally. And utilize the Facebook group. If you just comment on there and say, hey, I'm traveling, this is what's going on, these are my challenges, any advice, you'll probably get tons and tons of comments of what people have done and different ideas that maybe we forgot to mention here or we just wouldn't have thought of. So definitely utilize all those resources and support to help you to stay on track during travel.
Yes.
So I'm not seeing any other comments, but we'll keep checking on here even after the live event. So comment and just let us know what you're committing to. If you're going to be traveling coming up, let us know what you're going to take away from this event and plug into your plans for your travel. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We hope this was helpful, gave you some inspiration and ideas on how to manage or lose weight, whatever it is, reach your goals this summer through all of the challenges of weekend trips and vacations. If you were not able to join the full event tonight, no worries. We're going to have the full recording on the HMR program Facebook page. We'll also share it on the Facebook community pages, and we have it on our YouTube page. So thank you guys so much for joining, and have a great night, everyone. Bye.